Everybody has one podcast. Back yet again.
Yes, yes.
I'm your host, Jason Flake. My co host, Lance Reynolds, aka the People's Champ.
What up, though?
Um, Always want to start the same way by thanking everybody, man, for hitting all of the social sites, hitting the YouTube page, watching the shorts, watching the lives, watching the videos, and paying attention to the notifications and timelines. If you have not already, please like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you are alerted when we post new content
Please and thank you.
because we try to keep it regular. Um, Everybody has one podcast, man. I don't know that I've talked about the vision of the podcast before, so I'm gonna do that briefly in the opening here.
Okay.
Essentially, what it is that we saw the market saturated with is a lot of former athletes that were talking sports, and what it proved is that simply having played the game before doesn't necessarily mean that you can analyze the game, and you do so correctly and without bias. And as a matter of fact, in a lot of cases, you have bias
Yeah.
because you have played. You do know certain players. You're reluctant to give your honest opinion about a particular player or a particular group of players or a generation of players. And it's very, very hard for them to separate their personal feelings and their personal experiences from analysis.
Right.
And that's why we created our platform, because we just regular guys who watch sports like everybody else. It's not enough of them that are actually in the commentary space, giving an opinion, speaking up, saying, no, this is what I see from this player, or this is what I see from this team. And of course, we have biases. I'm not going to pretend that we don't,
Right.
but I've always attempted to put my biases aside and give an objective perspective on teams, on players, on individual sports. I try not to let it get in the way, but I'm only human. I mean, of course, I have my own teams and players that I like and I root for, but everybody has one is about everybody having an opportunity to speak, everybody's opinion being just as valuable as anybody else's. I saw something where Gilbert Arenas basically told Charles Barkley to be quiet because he wasn't playing at a high level at 40. I said, but that invalidates your opinion too.
Yeah, I mean, that made no sense.
Yeah, I'm like, how you gonna invalidate? And I don't like when people try to shut other people down. That's that's fundamentally against what we believe here at Everybody Has One. Everybody has one. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody consumes the game differently.
Right.
They consume sports differently. They have different rooting interests, and that's how you learn.
Right.
You don't learn being in the echo chamber. You learn by listening to a diverse amount and a diverse set of opinions, because people are looking at it a different way. They consuming it a different way. So that's the Everybody Has One mission, is to give it to you from a very objective, but making it entertaining. We make it fun. We make it funny. We try to be lighthearted, but we're trying to give you an objective perspective from the fans' point of view.
And sucker free, too.
That too. So with that being said, man,
That's important to know.
we got a million topics to jump into, man.
Let's get it,
So
man.
much to do, so little time.
Oh, first, well, since we're kind of into while we're doing things,
Hmm.
kind of to build off that, it started as sports fans.
Hmm.
And if you're of a certain age, our age,
Yeah.
and you grew up in the Detroit area like we did, I
Yeah.
know myself, one of the first sports teams I ever rooted for was the 84 Tigers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, today we lost a key player
Yeah, no doubt.
from that team. That player being one Chet Lemon.
R.I.P. Chet.
So we're going to take a quick moment from the Everybody Have One podcast to just say rest in peace Tip of the cap. Chet, good innings. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Chet Lemon.
All right.
Um, man, we got a jam-packed agenda today.
Yeah, a lot going on, man.
Yeah, so let's talk about our Pistons first.
You had to go bring. Look, man, we already lost Chet Lemon
Right.
today, bro. Now you gonna go kick me in the nuts
Well, no, I mean,
with
listen,
revisiting the Pistons, man.
let's put a positive spin on it, man. I think it was a good season.
Okay, that's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Like we more than tripled our win total from the previous year.
True.
So, but I'll take your impressions of the end of the season. What would you like to see in the upcoming off season? And where do you see us next season? A lot of predicting and forecasting there.
Okay. Well, let me first say, shout out to my homeboy Champ, because he posted, man, it might have been like preseason, right at preseason,
Mm-hmm.
that the Pistons were going to the playoffs. Now, I was hoping, fingers crossed, that maybe we were like contending for like the play in,
Yeah, no doubt.
like real talk. And yeah, I was like bullshit. Like
Yeah.
I kind of laughed at him. So I got to eat crow on that. He was like one of the first people that I know of that's like, an avid, basketball fan and,
Yeah.
and knowledgeable of the game that put it out there. So I got to give him props for that. So, to that end, I mean, they definitely surpassed any expectation
Yeah.
that I had, for them, record wise, growth wise.
Yep.
Because at the beginning of the season, it kind of started out a little rocky.
Yep. I agree. That was an adjustment period.
Yeah, for sure. So, a lot of the wins, it was kind of like, all right, are we kind of catching teams because, we finally got some players available playing together.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, how will this gel? How will they
Yeah.
grow together type of deal? How do they push back when things get tough? Are they mentally tough?
Right.
Are they growing up in that aspect? So it was a lot of those questions I think they answered towards the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I mean, it was unfortunate we lost Jay Ivey so
Indeed.
early in the season after it was looking like he was trending.
Oh yeah, he was trending up for sure.
He was hitting his outside shot, hit the 4-point play
Yep.
against Sacramento,
In Sacramento. Yep.
and he was on fire that game.
He was.
You know what I mean? So, that so I would have liked to have seen how it all looks together,
Yeah.
which kind of has me a little perplexed when I think about the off season and what they should do.
Right.
I mean, they got about 26 million in cap space.
Yep.
I mean, Trajan Langdon did a good job. I mean, you gotta think he came in with what pretty much with 10 days.
Yeah.
Before the draft, was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I
Maybe.
don't. I can't recall the
it was a
timeline,
relatively
but
short
it was
amount of time.
He had a
where
very short time.
He
to
didn't have
get-
a coach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of a quick turnaround. So the free agents that he added, they were the right veterans.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can get guys that are on that 1-year prove it deal, and they are strictly like on that higher gun tip.
Yeah.
Where they just out for dolo to get theirs,
Yep.
and they don't contribute to a culture. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So the fact that he was able to get some guys in Beasley and bring it Tobias back and even Hardaway.
Yeah.
With Tim Senior being a coach here
Mm-hmm.
with Van Gundy, you can tell that they added something to the locker room.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
So that was huge, and a tip of the cap to Trajan Langdon on that end. I think he finished third in executive of the year.
Yeah.
To the usual suspects,
Mm-hmm.
Presti and
Mhm.
Kobe Altman.
Yep.
And then there's JB Bickerstaff, who again, I mean, shit, compared to Tavares last year, you
It's
can't
night and day.
fall off the floor. So
Right.
I mean,
That's a good way of looking at it. Even though JB did a great job, and I thought that he was snubbed for Coach of the Year.
well, I mean, we look at what Kenny, Atkinson's doing right now.
Yeah, that's what I said. It gave me great pleasure to watch him pilfer the last 47 seconds of that game after they snubbed JB Bickerstaff for
do you think that
Coach of the Year.
do you think that may have some of that may have stemmed from JB's perceived whining?
Man, it's a mystery to me why JB Bickerstaff was fired in Cleveland. I'm not going to pretend that I know why. Yes, maybe. I mean, he did do a lot of, but you have to as the Detroit Pistons. 'Cause it's Detroit versus everybody.
Right.
We get a rough, we get a raw deal
Yeah,
a
for
lot.
sure. For sure.
I mean, for the first time in history, a coach came in and tripled the
Yeah.
win total from the previous season. How is he not the coach of the year?
Absolutely.
Kenny Atkinson took a good team and made them better,
Yeah.
for sure. But he took a bad team and made them good.
Right.
I'm like, there's no way.
And there's something to be said to that too, because again, I mean, I mean, like I said, from last year to this year, improving, it's not that hard. But the thing is, a lot went into that
Yeah.
because some of the guys that were there, they also were there for Dwayne Casey,
Yeah.
and they played hard for Dwayne Casey,
hmm
but it just did not translate to wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
But-
I'm not saying JB is the only reason that they tripled.
Well,
the
no,
win
but
total.
what I'm saying is, to his credit,
Yeah.
I think it's to JB's credit, that he was able to, you know, kind of cultivate a lot of these guys a little and push the right buttons.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
'Cause
agree.
what he was able to pull out of JD the second half of the
Yeah.
season defensively, I don't
I
think
agree.
it's talked about enough.
No,
You
I
know?
agree. I mean, period. Jalen Durham was a different player in the second half of the season than he was in the first quarter of the season.
Because we were
anyway.
rough on him.
Yeah.
I know I was.
Yeah.
I know I was rough on him.
I was very concerned
because
about his lack of development as I saw it.
because I saw what he was doing the second half of the season. I'm
Yeah.
like, and the thing about it is, guess what? He can be even better.
He can, yeah.
And
He's
I
just
hope
he's
and I
just a
hope he
kid, 21
reaches
years
towards
old.
that. You know what I mean? He can be even better. I see even, more coming from him.
Yeah, I agree.
Which kind of leads to what you said, what I think they need, I guess, for the, in terms of the offseason.
Yeah.
I think in terms of what we have, I mean, Cade, I think Cade needs to, there's always room for improvement.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah. And that's not to criticize him.
right.
But yeah,
And,
we see
and,
some
and to his
things.
credit, Cade, and which I'm sure he knows, has finally have a full season
Yeah.
of a body of work.
Yeah.
And also the NBA scouting teams have a full season of Cade body work too. So he knows he has to go in the lab
Yeah.
and come correct, which I believe he will.
Yeah.
I believe I heard Mello on the 7 a.m. in Brooklyn podcast. Shout out to him.
Mhm.
Say he wanted to work with Mello, with Cade. He'd like to work with Cade in the
Yeah.
off season and show him a thing or two. I'm like, that's great, but I'm like, shit, Cade, take Asar Thompson with you.
Right.
Because
Real talk.
if Carmelo could get Asar Thompson to nail the jumper from both sides of the elbow and the corner three,
Yeah, I was
I mean, now we talking, perennial all-star,
Oh, yeah.
easy. We
Easily.
talking starter.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
You would-
Starter.
Yeah, possibly the best two-way perimeter player in basketball.
Him or his brother.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And that's what a guy that I was talking to, he said if the Thompson twins can develop NBA level shooting, that's what it is. It's
Right.
NBA. If they can develop NBA level shooting, in the same vein as
Kawhi.
Jimmy Butler. Yeah.
Remember Kawhi?
Yeah.
Bro, I remember Kawhi on Spike TV getting lit up by Jimmer Fredette.
Right.
And Kawhi was a good defensive player, but Kawhi was a, 15, 16, 17 point guy. Some
Yeah.
nights he could get hot, depending if the pace of the game was kind of up and down. And, the shot never looked bad, but it was
Right.
kind of flat.
Yeah.
But then, I think he started working with Cole. Cole
Mhm.
was showing him how to get to a spot, get the right elevation. And now, Kawhi
Is one of the most efficient guys in
man, that dude
basketball.
get his feet set. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
one of the most efficient guys in the game.
I mean, they didn't got to get to Kawhi's level, but if they can get somewhere,
Yeah.
close to that in terms of like we say, like we talk all the time, elbow extended,
Yeah, mid range.
yeah,
Yep, in
man, dude,
between. Yep,
and
and
also
hitting corner threes. Yeah,
and also, I think 10 to 15 pounds of muscle wouldn't
hmm
hurt because I think it would make him and his brother just that much better defensively
and
because he
that's
likes to get physical. You get what I'm
to
saying?
that point is just what we were talking about off camera. All the threes are playing four, and the fours are playing five.
Yeah,
So because you see a LeBron, you see a Kevin Durant, you see a Jason Tatum. These are small forwards that have all moved to the stretch four.
hmm
And so yeah, Sir Thompson, even though to me he looks like a traditional small forward,
right.
he's probably going to end up being a stretch four as his career progresses
Well,
because
what's he 6'6", 6'7", right?
yeah, some
Right
something in
between
there.
there. Well,
He plays longer than that though. He
oh, for
looks
sure.
6'10"
Oh yeah,
sometimes, but
yeah,
he can jump out of the gym. But yeah, so I think that he might be the athletic scoring wing that we need
right, right.
if he can develop into that.
I think he's definitely in terms of our current roster falls in the untouchable category.
Yeah,
To
I
me,
agree.
to me,
Yeah,
to
I
me,
agree.
to me, JD, Cade, Asar are like untouchables.
Yep.
Ivy, I think he's close. I think it depends on how he looks when he comes back.
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean? Had he
mean,
not got hurt, I believe he's an untouchable.
so to your point, I don't think we have a first round pick this year. I think
What is it?
I think our pick was protected through 13 this year. So we're
Yeah.
not going to be in the lottery. So um we don't have a first round pick. So we'll get a second round pick and then really it's going to be free agency that we're depending on or the trade market.
Mm-hmm.
The trade
Lot of
market.
Zion rumors.
Yeah. I don't know about that one, but I
Man,
like Zion. He's a beast, but he
hey
just
man,
can't stay on the floor. He another one, man.
man, we would have to introduce that man to Halal
Yeah, for real.
in a hurry. He come
But
to Detroit, bro.
I just think Zion is just a big person. Let me tell you something, dog. If you are 20 years old and you play basketball 8 hours a day and you still overweight, you just a big person.
Yeah,
Because your metabolism is
yeah,
never gonna be better than it is at 20 years old.
yeah, especially running for 8
Yeah,
hours.
that's what I'm saying. Like you playing basketball 8 hours a day, which is what he probably was doing. Because like you can run all day when you're in your 20s, and he's good.
Right.
So he getting out and playing
And
ball.
a freak athlete. He just big.
He just
He
big.
just
I'm just
big.
like, man, and because people said that when Zion came to the NBA,
And for the record, I mean, he's had, things where he looked chunky, but we just calling him big. He
yeah,
a big kid.
yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I'm
But-
not even denigrating him.
right. He just
He's
big
just
kid.
some people are big people.
Right.
I'm like, that's what people don't understand about genetics. They like, oh, this person fat. No, some people are just big. They just big, dense folks. And
Right.
I think that he definitely qualifies as he's just a big, dense dude.
Yeah.
And I think that his height with the ability that he has to jump, they don't really jive. So he's going to always have lower body injuries because he's so athletic that the frame might be a little too big
Yeah.
for the level of athleticism.
Remind me of remember Blue Edwards?
Yeah, oh, vaguely. Damn,
You know
boy,
what I mean? Like,
you dug in the crates
like
for
Zach
that one.
Zion, like he was like kind of like awkwardly built like
Yeah.
that, like kind of like bottom heavy, but look strong.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even like a younger Barkley, not like the old late Phoenix Houston Barkley,
Right.
but like 89, 90.
See, my
Philly.
thing is, I think that Zion, in order to preserve his career,
But he's bigger than all them. Zion walks around at like 280.
That's what I'm
he
saying.
was like,
Yeah,
I think
like
he's dropped weight now, but when he was having he was like 280.
he's a big dude. And I think, and my whole thinking is, I think that he needs to slow his game down in order to preserve his career. And I didn't mean to make this an entire Zion
Right, I
Williamson
get it.
discussion, but
It's-
you know what I'm saying.
But that's what Zion Williamson's
Yeah.
name brings.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
evokes.
yeah, that he's a fabulous play. Like if it was guaranteed that he gonna play 70 games a year for the next 4 years, you'd almost be willing to give up just about anything.
Because see, the thing about it is, it's like I think if
Not Dame Cade Cunningham, by the way.
no, I see that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
if let's just say I'm not even going to go into the scenario of the trade. I know with like Ivy, Tobias, and some picks, and Bobby Clinton, and some
Yeah.
other second round, and
Right.
blah,
Yeah, I
blah, blah,
saw
blah.
that mock
But
trade.
he would have to be willing to come here and play a role.
Yeah.
Like, on from tip, like, we may not need you to go full Zion every night. Like, but we need you to help Jalen Duren on the rebounding tip.
Yeah.
And he's never been a prolific rebounder.
No, he hasn't.
Ever. For him to have the 40 whatever inch vertical, he's like a 7 rebound a game guy.
Yeah.
Where, you would think theoretically with his size and his, fast twitching
Yeah.
jumping
And
ability.
explosive. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
explosive.
he'd be 9, 10, rebounds a game. Like, he would have to like come and convert his game. Like, can you come here and give us 18 and 11? But when your matchup is there, and the shit talking's heavy, you go get 35.
Yeah, no, I mean,
you
listen,
like, can you do that? You get like that. I
I'm
don't know
happy if
he's
he
willing-
comes here
I don't know if
and
he's
scores
willing.
25. But I agree that, I mean, and even with the rebound,
But the 25 is cool. But I think to help us and to help JD, we need help him. We need what he can be, I think, on the boards.
yeah, I mean, I think that even if you,
Especially looking at them bums against Boston right now. Oh God, my fault.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, we're
I'm
gonna
sorry.
we're gonna
I'm
get to the
sorry.
playoffs.
I'm
That's
sorry.
next on the
I'm
list.
sorry.
But no, I think that Zion, I like his game, and I think that what he would bring, because if you think about it, man, if you leave Asur Thompson on the floor
Mhm.
with him, Asur Thompson is a great rebounder. He's a rebounder in waiting.
Right.
I don't
Exactly.
even-
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't even need Zion to be trying to be a 25-point double guy. Like, if he turns out to be that, that's cool. And also Jalen Duren, what he averaged 12, 13 rebounds a game. He's 21. By the time he's 25, he's going to be eating all of the rebounds. He eating the glass now. So I'm like, my thing is that if Zion can come here, and because we need consistent scoring,
I agree.
we have lulls because they start to load up on Cade, and
Mhm.
Cade is a distributor.
Mhm.
He ain't Kobe Bryant where he's going to force his way into the game. Like, no, you're not stopping me. I'm gonna pull, I'm gonna raise up, I'm gonna get in the paint, I'm gonna go to the back. No, I mean, like, Cade doesn't mind. He'll have 11 assists, 12, 13 assists. He'll get
Mhm.
a ball up.
But
And
if those shooters ain't hitting shots, then it gets
and that's
funky.
the problem. And no disrespect to guys like Malik Beasley, like Tim Hardaway Jr., because I think we should re-sign Beasley for sure.
What about Schroeder?
I like Schroeder.
I think if the number's good,
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
But my thing about those journeyman type guys like that, the reason they've been on a lot of teams is because there's a problem with consistency.
Mhm.
As much as we may like them during the regular season, and Tim Hardaway Jr., he like your guy Buddy Hield.
Oh,
He feasts the
hey,
famine.
man, buddy feasting right now.
But that's what I'm
baby.
saying. Like, when
Buddy love.
good Buddy Hield,
Yo, God.
good
trust
Buddy
me.
Hield is a monster.
Let me tell you, bad Buddy Hield, though.
But bad Buddy
is
Hield
the
is
shit
killing
of
you.
nightmares,
Yeah,
my dog.
yeah.
Let me tell you. Oh,
He's gonna kill you. It's like, boy, you're killing me, son.
Yeah, real.
You
That's
can't have
real.
him on the floor.
yeah, Tim
and-
Hardaway Jr. Yeah, he will go blank.
Yeah,
man,
he might go 26, then 6. And I'm like, those guys to me are less valuable than the guy that's coming out with 15 every night.
Beasley, to his defense, when his shot's not falling, he will guard.
I agree. That's why I
Yeah.
said I said I think we should re-sign Malik
Yeah,
Beasley.
He will guard. He will guard.
You hit over 300 threes in
Yeah,
a season.
we
You
need-
earn
we
a
need-
contract.
Right,
That's
like,
it.
we need- Yeah, like you on the list
It's-
of like one other guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, two.
Anthony,
What him and Clay, or Steph and Clay.
Yeah,
Steph,
Anthony-
Clay, and Beasley.
Anthony Edwards is the
And
only
Harden.
person that hit more threes than Malik Beasley this year, and he's
Right.
going to be first team All NBA.
Right.
So I'm like, no, listen, we can always use 300 threes.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
So I'm like, I think my opinion is that he's earned a contract, but I don't know about. I think Tim Hardaway Jr. You can probably say goodbye to him.
Yeah.
Particularly with Ivy coming back healthy. I'm like, I don't see him having a prominent role. He was really good to fill in this year, but with all likelihood, Jaden Ivey is going to eat into his minutes
Right.
considerably next season. So, but
So let me ask you. So in terms of the off season, because like I said, I don't think they're gonna let the 26 million sit. Where do you see it?
that's a great question.
Where do you see them going?
I would have to look and see who the free agents are,
That's real.
because I would like an athletic wing scorer. Like Devin Booker, his name has been bandied about quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't think Ishbia letting him go.
He might, but I'm not going to give them the haul that they're looking for,
Right,
because
right.
they don't have any draft capital.
That's what I'm saying. They want Kevin Durant get back.
Yeah, they gonna want
Yeah.
Dame Lillard 5 first-round picks or Rudy Gobert 4 first-round. I'm not giving that.
Right.
You might get a 1 and a 2, and maybe a player that I want to send you. I might give you Ryan Holland and somebody else, and Beef Stew, and a 1 and a 2. I'm not giving you 4, 5, 6 first-round picks for Devin Book. No. And I understand. I think Book is only 28. He got a lot of good years left, and he's your best piece because
KD gone.
yeah, KD is. I think he still under contract.
He gone. Yeah, he might be under contract,
Yeah,
but
but
he gone.
he said the rumors are that he's played his last game as a Sun. So if you're gonna go into complete rebuild, I can dig it, but they gonna want something to rebuild with.
Yeah, and we ain't the one.
And I'm not giving up. I'm not mortgaging the future.
And we get it, hometown connection.
Yeah, no doubt.
The
No
whole,
doubt.
I'm
I'm a Booker fan. I'm
but
I'm a
ain't.
legitimate fan of Devin Booker,
Yeah,
but
we ain't emptying the war chest.
nope,
Not
doing that, because I don't think that he makes us a championship team.
Mhm.
He might make us a contender, but I don't want contender if I'm giving up that much draft capital. I want to believe that is going to make us a championship team.
Yeah.
Not just somebody, well, we might get out the East, or, we'll be in contention with 2 or 3 other teams. If I'm making that kind of move, it's the last piece
Right.
to solidify.
To put us over.
It's Kevin Durant to Golden State. That's that, I know he was a free agent, but I'm saying, like, if we make a move like that, it's
the
Kevin Durant.
expectation is title.
Yeah, and
I
the
got
ex-
you.
the yeah, it got to be Kevin
Right.
Durant, the Golden State kind of dominance.
I
It's
got
like
you. Right.
pencil them in for the next 2 at least, and barring injury, is probably 3.
Yeah, so I hear you. So we're still over a month out from even the draft.
Yeah,
so if
no
the
doubt.
draft approaches, July approaches,
Yes,
this is
we
a
keeping our eyes
conversation
on
we can
that.
definitely revisit. But yeah,
Man, let's touch on the NBA playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
We did have 2 game 7s over the weekend. Houston and Golden State. Golden State, obviously, they took that one, and then the Clippers and Denver. Denver took that one because obviously they're going into game 3 with OKC tomorrow. But obviously the topic du jour is James Harden and how woeful James Harden is in the playoffs. I think he's got over 30 playoff games where he made 5 or fewer field goals.
I think it's like 42.
Yeah, like that's insane. That is insane. But some guys just are not playoff player. We talked about that with the Jason Tatum topic, and I don't want to, because I just reposted the clip. I don't want to belabor that, but that's what we talked about with him. Some of these guys are not going to be great playoff performers. I think that for as much as people want to talk crazy about the 80s and the 90s, even the 2000s, you didn't see stars being up and down in the playoffs. Their team might get beat, but you didn't see him being up and down. Like Magic Johnson was Magic Johnson in the playoffs every year. Now, somebody brought up, well, they called him Tragic Johnson one time. That's because he made some mistakes in overtime of game 4 of the finals in 1984. In that game, he had a 20-point triple-double on 12 shots. It wasn't because Magic Johnson wasn't delivering in the finals.
And he lost to the best player in the world at the time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, contrary to what y'all might think, and we love Magic Johnson, but in 1984, Larry Bird was that dude.
Yeah, he was the man. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, but even that, like, Magic didn't play poorly. It was just like he made some bad mistakes down the stretch of the game
he-
at 23 years old or whatever he was at the time.
he
You know,
lost to an equal competitor that was better that day.
correct, and he performed. Is
Yeah,
my
dude,
point.
right.
Forget about you know, he
It was
performed.
performance notwithstanding.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, sometimes you gonna perform and get beat by greater players. That does happen, but he performed. I'm like the superstars of today or the stars, they up and they down. I mean, you know, like because of course you expect inconsistency from role players. It's shocking when you see guys that are, you know, considered to be some of the best guys in this generation and they up and they down. You know, even LeBron. Now, of course, LeBron is 40, but LeBron is always he's 3 times in the finals. He went scoreless in the fourth quarter. 3 times.
I mean,
And to me, LeBron James is one of the best players to ever. It's no question. To me, he is inarguably a top 3 player of all time.
yeah, right. I mean, pick your order.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
but
yeah,
he
whoever
definitely in there. Ain't no doubt about it.
he's inarguably a top 3, but even him, you see the inconsistency and everybody like, well, he 40. Yeah, this was before 40. He
Right.
did that at 26. At 26 years old, smack dab in his prime as the favorite in the final. The dude had 8 points in a 3-point loss and went scoreless in the fourth quarter. It has happened, and I'm not picking on LeBron. I'm just making a point about the
Right.
consistency
I get what
of
you're coming
stars.
from.
Back when we was growing up, and I'm not saying nobody ever had a bad game, so don't get in my mentions and go, man, look at this game that
Right.
Barkley had. Yeah, I'm not telling you nobody ever had a bad game, but the consistent low level of play from superstar caliber players, look at Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. I mean, same thing. A consistent low
Yeah.
level play in the playoffs.
That first go round, he was
balling,
lighting up.
yeah.
But that
Where you
sec-
put
but
with
that,
the
but
toe
after
on the
that,
line,
yeah. But after that,
yeah, he was
for sure,
he
especially
was
against
getting,
Boston.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
embarrassing.
he got blitzed.
That was embarrassing.
And I'm like, Kevin Durant. I think that Kevin Durant has the best offensive skill set that I've ever seen.
The deepest bag.
A deep bag.
Yeah.
The only person that's comparable, in my opinion, is Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. Those are the only 2 guys that I would say had an equally deep bag. And Michael Jordan didn't shoot it as well from distance because he just was a mid-range player.
Yeah, that just wasn't a focal point.
Yeah, but I'm like, but Kevin Durant is like a long athletic Larry Bird offensively.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, but even him, I'm like, even Kevin Durant has had some stinkers in the play. Like, what? How can you have stinkers in the playoffs? You got every level of scoring.
I think, like, like in a game, in a big game, like Kevin Durant, like, should never like be outscored. Like, I look at Kevin Durant, and like when I look at Kevin Durant, I just like, man, if he wants to, though, he can get 70.
Yeah, listen,
like 70
every time,
like 70.
Because it was a time where if dribble, pull up 18 feet and in, that's a layup.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's a layup for Kevin Durant, bro.
I believe offensively he is that deadly.
Yeah, I agree.
But to your point about James Harden, one of my best friends, your brother, Jay Black, for the last 10 years have appropriately coined him the Winter Soldier. Because listen, when the snow melts and the spring comes running around, James Harden disappears.
He started fading down the stretch.
Listen, this man will have a 60-point triple-double January 15th, dog.
Yeah.
And I mean, will look like the most electrifying player you have ever seen in your life, dog. Step back Jackson all night long.
Yep.
But let me tell you something. When that calendar hits April and May, James Harden's mind's at the titty bar.
He got to be.
He is not concerned with winning, dog, at all.
Yeah.
So
I cannot argue with that.
So in terms of the game 7, to me, it was like the more things change, the more they stay the same. Like Steph Curry owns the city of Houston, and James Harden sharts the sheets in game 7. I mean, nothing's new here.
Yep. Hey, that's man. I have nothing to add to that. Man, let's talk about the 4 playoff series that are currently happening, man.
Yeah, man.
Boston very surprisingly down 0-2 to the Knicks. The Knicks erased 20-point deficits in back-to-back games in order to take a 2-0 series lead, which is egregious
Unbelievable.
for a defending champion. But again, it's the up and down play. Not to rag on Jason Tatum too much, but again, he doesn't have a go-to move. He doesn't have that one thing that he does, and you like he can do that whenever he wants. He just doesn't. And I'm like, I can't count the number of layups that he smoked in game 2. I mean, the guy is just not there. And the reason that I like to point out Jason Tatum a lot, he's on the defending champion, but he also complains about not getting a lot of respect. He complains that people don't look at him appropriately. Well, bruh, you got to start showing up big in the big moments. We're not just going to bequeath you a superstar and never scrutinize your game. I understand that in the social media age, that's what you would like to happen, but that is not how life works. You got to show up, man. You showing up making 3 and 4 shots. You going 0-6, 0-8, 0-7 from the 3-point line. You're just stinking it up. And this is when the reason that the Knicks are ahead, and then I'll concede to you,
Go on right ahead, brother. Let off.
is because Jalen Brunson is just better than you down the stretch. They looking for you to close the game. The Knicks are looking at Jalen Brunson to close the game. And Jalen Brunson didn't light the world on fire in game 2. Don't misunderstand me. It was really Mikal Bridges in the fourth quarter that really got popping. But Brunson hit a big 3 that put him ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like he comes up, he is the clutch player of the year. I get that, but he comes up big in the important moments. And I'm like, and that's the difference. I mean, because like what they lose by 1 yesterday and what 2 the night before, like they've lost by a combined 3 points. But if Jason Tatum steps up in the big moment, and then that last play yesterday was tragic.
Man, dude.
That was tragic. He was trying to pass. I thought Karl Anthony Towns blocked his shot.
No, my man was not interested in shooting.
He was trying to pass. Like, what are you doing, son? You're your team's best player, according to the accolades and the awards, the points per game. Who you giving the ball to? I understand that they doubled you in the corner and all of that, but bro, you had another second to get a shot off. You got to come to play big in the big moments, or you got to stop whining about how people view you. Those are the 2 options, and there's not a third. I'll yield.
Hey, man. 19 points, 29% from the field, 25 from 3. But I mean, Jason Tatum, I think the reason why, again, he frustrates people is because he's so skilled and talented.
Is.
But
he is. He's a terrific talent.
My whole thing is I kind of knew what we was in for, man. I don't know what I was watching. It might have been NBA Today, like right before the series.
Yeah.
And they interviewing my man like in the barber shop, talking about, how he like to make sure his hair is fresh and shit for the game. And how I said, wait a minute, whoa, dog, hold on.
I mean, that's cool.
I mean, dude, that's great, dog.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, if you can still grow hair, trust me, dude, wild out.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Trust and believe. I envy. Like, enjoy yourself. But I don't need the expose before the Eastern Conference semifinals
Not at
against
all.
the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And we doing an exploratory piece on Jason Tatum and his barber, dog,
Yeah.
and how important looking fresh for the game is. Cause see, I see that and I'm like, okay, so like, is he still shooting these side step back 3s because he think they look fresh?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, bro, you
Trying to finger roll,
dog, you are
like George Gervin.
bro,
Like, bro,
you are
turn the ball over.
You are 6'10" with an in the box handle,
Yep.
with a good jump shot, good foul shooter, with athleticism.
Yeah.
Why are you settling
Yeah.
repeatedly? That's
Yeah.
my whole thing. Like, I get it. Sometimes you may want to bail out a defender
Yeah.
because you might have figured something out on
Yeah.
the possession. Like, all right, I'm gonna get him next time. Boom, boom, boom. But to repeatedly bail
Yeah.
the defense out with just bad jump shots, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between a contested shot and a bad shot.
Yes.
If it's a contested shot and you're a good shooter, then I mean, dude, you just a guy that played good defense and got your ass busted.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But when you are consistently, shooting contested shots and you're missing, then guess what?
Yeah. Stop.
Immediately,
Yeah. Stop
like
it.
put your head down and go to the rim. Like I just don't.
Whatever happened to allowing your drive to set up the jump shooting?
Dude, this is going to lead to something that I was thinking about today that I was going to mention, and I'm glad I just remembered it now. To Jason Tatum, it looks like as he's getting more accolades,
Mm-hmm.
the game is
Oh, you think he reading his own press clippings and
the game is doing this, right?
yeah,
And it's like, damn, is Jason Tatum a better player under Brad Stevens,
mm,
but the Boston Celtics are a better team under Ime Adoke, hence Joe Mazzulla?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I think about Brad
Yep.
and the Butler thing, and to bring a mid-major to prominence like he did,
Yeah.
that's coaching. Some
Yeah.
heavy coaching has to be involved.
Yeah. No doubt.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
Right,
you
because
got
you're not gonna out talent everybody.
yeah.
at
Now,
once.
yeah, you'll get lucky and get a Shelvin Mack here and there,
Yeah.
and
And a Gordon
and a
Hayward.
Gordon
Yep.
Hayward here and there. But even still, to get to a national, to a natty,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? Like, it's some coaching involved with
Mhm.
that. And with Tatum coming in, being a prodigy at the time,
Yeah.
when he came to the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that maybe he just clicked better.
Yeah.
Because his on the court demeanor to me was different.
Yeah.
His shot selection to me was different.
Yeah. I agree.
His shot making was better.
Yeah.
He was nastier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he wanted to get to the rim. He wanted to, get a couple of
it's like
flushes a game.
somewhere he like turned into like R&B Tatum.
Yeah. As my grandmother would say, he got cute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got too cute.
Yeah.
Like
I
what's,
get
yeah, what's all
grandma nailed it,
Yeah,
as they always
you're
do.
getting too cute.
Yeah. And I wonder if maybe Brad got to sit him down in the off season and get back to the bricks. You know what I'm saying?
reconstruct him. Yeah,
Because
reconstruct the game.
he's too good and still young.
Yeah.
And he has achieved enough at this point where if he can just kind of get out of his head and get back, he can add on to it
I agree.
and really look back on a career where can't nobody say shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, as opposed to him, whereas I'm still rooting for
Of course.
Jason Tatum, whereas James Harden. And I know it kind of contradicts what we were saying earlier, but I'm just kind of out on James Harden.
No, yeah, but James Harden is what, 7 years older than Tatum. It's over.
He is
what he is. Yeah.
Like he
there's no reconstructing his game.
He's going to let you down.
Yeah, his mentality. He doesn't, and everybody doesn't have the mental makeup to be good in clutch situations.
And to that point, I don't want to hear from any commentator, not one, not in the barbershop, not in the locker room, not in the bathroom, not in the fellowship hall, not outside, not in the chats, in nothing. I don't want to hear James Harden better than Dwayne Wade ever again from anybody. And if you say it, and the person you say it to turns their back to you, do not be surprised or feel disrespected. They are just acknowledging the fact that you are indeed a moron.
I have to co-sign that. It never.
It's not even. It's not
bro.
A conversation anymore.
Yeah, I'm like,
now I get it. Like 3-4 years ago, when he was going off doing his Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes shit.
Yeah.
Shout out Jay Black. But listen, now that it's over.
Yeah.
Now that
even then.
Yeah, I mean, to us,
because
to us that were calling it out, yes. But what I'm saying is, it was a heavy narrative. Like I was looking at some of these polls and it was like 47, 53, 51, 49. Insane. Nah, bro, this is 99-1.
Yeah, like nah. No way is better than Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was an extremely good clutch player.
Yes,
Uh,
better defender.
yeah. Please, man. I wasn't even gonna say because people act like there's only one side of the ball.
Right.
The new NBA fans, I don't want to denigrate generations, but some of the newer NBA fans, I'm like, man, listen, there's two sides of the ball. There is a such thing as defending well, and usually the best defensive teams are the ones
That
who
win.
are contending, yeah, and win. So, yeah, man, no, I have to agree, man. Give me your impressions of Denver and OKC.
Man.
That coaching mismanagement that took place in
Oh,
game one.
dude.
You don't extend the game when you up by 3. Listen. Let me say before I pass it to you, because I do want to get your thoughts.
Because that blew me away.
I have never been a proponent of fouling when you're up by 3. I don't want to give the other team any opportunity to score points with the clock stopped when I'm ahead.
No, play D without fouling.
And force them into a tough 3-pointer. They hit a tough 3-pointer on you, play defense without fouling. They hit a tough 3, take your chances in overtime, or you could even get the ball with some time left. The whole you foul when you up by so that they can't no, because that assumes that you're going to make every free throw. And that typically doesn't happen.
You're adding so many variables.
Yeah, you don't add time to the game when you're in control. The foul game is for teams that are behind. Again, I always feel like I'm an old head saying that, but we've been watching basketball for decades.
Yeah.
3-4 decades of consuming the sport of basketball. Fouling and extending the game is for the losing team. That's for the team that's losing. They trying to come back. They trying to extend the game and get more seconds on the clock. When you are winning, you do not extend the game. I will stand out. That is a hill that I will die on. I will die on that hill. You do not extend the game when you're ahead. And I know Hubie Brown was a big proponent of foul when you up by 3.
Oh man!
And I like it. Listen,
but it was a
great
different game though. But the 3-pointer wasn't
as prominent.
Yeah, it wasn't as prolific then.
But I'm like, man, listen, make them take a tough 3 and take your chances. Those are low percentage shots. Most contested 3s are going in at a rate less than 30%. That's good. That's good, sound, fundamental basketball. But I'll take your impressions of the series. OKC, they obviously had they put up 149 points last night.
They really could, if they wanted to, score 200 last night.
They could have.
Like 200 really could have been in play if they wanted to.
Yeah.
When OKC turns it on defensively, forget about it.
I don't think anybody's beating them in the 7-game.
Like when they're locked in defensively, they can have bad shooting nights and still blow the doors off of you, dog, because they're going to force you to take bad, uncomfortable shots.
Yep.
Consistently throughout the night. Like it kind of almost reminds me of remember the old Nolan Richardson 40 minutes of hell, where it's just kind of like the helter-skelter defense where like everybody sells out.
Yeah, they have so many good perimeter defenders.
Dude, I mean, and they come in waves.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I think Houston. I'm not Houston. I'm sorry. I think Denver got their charity game, their mulligan game.
That's what I said. I'm OKC in 5. That's what I said after that game was over. I'm like, OKC in 5.
I would be shocked if we see a game 6.
Yeah. I would too.
If we do see a game 6, then that would mean to me that Joker would have to drop a couple of 50 bombs.
Yep. That's what man, listen, we on that exact same page. I'm like, Jokic is gonna have to go nuclear. That's the only way that they win.
That's the only chance.
Because even in the first game where they won by 3, what do you have? 40 and 20? Like he had 40 and 20. They won on the last second 3. They won by 2 points. They won on the last second 3. So I'm like, if that's what his 40 and 20 game gonna get you, then
yeah, bro. And talk about a dude that looks like he's got one foot on a court and another one on a flight to Cancun. Michael Porter Jr., dog.
He another one, though.
Bro, I get it. He's playing a little dinged up, and that made, that. And I'm pretty sure that's frustrating as hell for him because
Yeah.
he's been playing hurt probably the better part of the last 6 or 7 years going back
But
to
another
high
guy
school.
who should
But
be
dude,
great, though.
man, you look at this guy.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
6'10", can shoot it, can put it on the floor, can get in the paint. I
And
mean,
again,
good rebounder.
we've seen how back injuries
We do, yeah.
derail athletes.
Yeah, because you
you know,
can't do anything for a back. You can't
like,
brace a back.
and
You can't.
and I try to, say that with grace. But the reason why I say it the way I do is because he can be so good to me, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I think Michael Porter Jr. has like all the
I
talent
I
in the
agree.
world.
I agree
And
with you.
some of his box scores
1000%.
just looks like used toilet paper
Yep.
sometimes,
So
and it drives me nuts.
we got our eyes on that series. The series tonight, Minnesota and the Warriors.
Oh,
Steph
man.
Curry is out for an indefinite amount of time with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, it's tough.
And Minnesota had a poor showing in game one. I expect them to bounce back tonight and win, but what say you?
They better win.
Yeah, they
I'll tell
can't
you
go
that.
down 0-2 going back
They
to the
better
bank.
win. I mean, it was messed up because I can tell you, game one, as soon as I seen him do that, I said, "Oh man, hammy."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like, oh, that is. I mean, any age playing basketball, that's rough.
Yeah, the soft tissue injuries.
But at 37, it's just like, man. And another thing about it that's, to me, that kind of sucks about it. I finally, it may sound crazy, but I think now this might be like the best version of Steph Curry physically,
That could be.
because I think now he's so much better defensively.
Yeah,
Like before on defense, like I mean, you couldn't even really call him a cone. You could just knock him over.
right.
You know what I mean? Like I mean, you just could.
Yeah.
You could just knock him over. And I mean, now, and some guys, I get it. I know when I was like 35, 30, I just picked up way out of nowhere. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what the hell is this?
Oh,
So I can only
absolutely, yeah.
imagine with, high-end trainers and hell, wife's a chef and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
You can see that
it's
moved-
physically stronger. Yeah,
the other night, he was at that he just shoved the shit out of. Like, it was Dylan Brooks.
Hey, Dylan Brooks. Yeah,
Dylan Brooks was trying to like fight through a screen, and he was just like, "Pfft."
yeah,
And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. He wasn't doing that in 2017,
No.
18.
yeah,
So, and again, like, how even with Brian at 40, I think with certain athletes, say like with a guy like a Steph, where his game is more below the rim,
hmm
they can kind of stick around longer and sustain a career longer, because now he can stay on the floor defensively.
But even LeBron got the strained MCL in the last game of the Wolves series.
Well, no,
Did you
he
see
got that partying at the club till 4 in the morning in LA. Did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh yeah, bro.
that how you got-
He was at the club that night, bro.
Because I didn't even believe it. I'm like, man,
Man,
shut up.
He did that doing the Tamia hustle or something. Boots on the ground or whatever that new shit is.
So
But
yeah, that's definitely a series that we want to keep our eyes on.
But,
Shockingly,
I think go ahead. But to your
yeah,
point,
to wrap that up,
I think Minnesota, this is a must win for them,
Yeah.
because I think Golden State feels like if we can steal 2 in Minnesota, or if they can lose tonight and get a split at home in Golden State and somehow get this to a game 6, I
Yeah.
think that's where they're kind of penciling in.
yeah,
Because
Steph.
I was watching Steph today, and Steph was like, this is his first hamstring injury, but he knows enough about it where, it can trick you, where you feel like it's good,
Yep,
and
then
you walking
go out,
around, and
yep,
then
start
as soon
trying to
as
run.
as soon as you go one way, and
Yep.
you definitely don't want to tear that thing off the bone. So
Nope.
we'll keep an eye on it. But if Minnesota's worth the yak that they talk,
Yeah,
and I like Ant,
I
but
do
Ant,
too. But
you
you gotta back it up,
You got to
man.
walk your talk.
Yeah, like
And I want to see him do it.
I do too. I do too. I'm a big Ant-Man fan. And the other series is that is also shocking is Indiana.
Oh,
I also put up my comments on the Pacers being a dangerous team.
Yeah.
I did not expect them to beat Cleveland, though. I'm not gonna act like I'm a soothsayer. I didn't.
Right.
But I continue to say that they got very deep in the playoffs last year.
True.
And that experience, we know that, you take your lumps, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You get your experience, you get deep in the, you get a little
Yeah.
deeper and a little deeper every time. And I'm like, listen, they on schedule to be back in the conference finals again,
Yeah.
and they could win there. I'm like, listen, they gave Boston the flux. And also about Boston's title, I'm gonna take a little bit of a rabbit trail. Last year, no Jimmy Butler in the first round against Miami. Donovan Mitchell went down immediately when they played Cleveland in the second round. Tyrese Halliburton went down immediately. He went down in game 2 immediately when they played the Pacers in the conference finals. So I'm not gonna say they got lucky, but I'm gonna say that, listen, injury, they got
So,
fortunate.
I mean, yeah, injuries happen,
Yeah,
but
and I'm
yeah, I
like,
mean,
injuries, they part of the game. So I'm not, listen, every title count the
and I
same.
mean, Luka Doncic was a little hobbled
Yeah.
too. Just
Yeah. No,
saying.
that's why I'm like, listen, they ran into, I thought, wounded teams last year when they made that run.
But
They didn't really.
Indiana's balling though.
Yeah, listen, and I'm
Indiana's
telling you, if
balling.
they stay healthy, nobody wants to see them in a 7-game
But
series.
I mean, damn Cleveland. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, to see 3 starters
Yeah.
just in street clothes.
Yep. And that's a problem they've had
Yeah, I mean,
continuously. And I'm
the
like,
mistake by the lake.
yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm like, is it cursed over there? Is it
mean,
the Bron
I
curse?
mean, listen, some bruh, because that I was, and they said Garland, Windhorse reported earlier that man, Garland ain't close to coming back.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
they said he's not close to resuming basketball
oh yeah.
activities.
Then he might not get to come back.
Yeah, right. That part.
Man, let's do some rapid fire real quick. Um,
Oh, before we do that,
yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, right there.
people, we got 2 days left in Cater to Hers Most Valuable Mother's Day campaign in celebration of Mother's Day.
Yes, sir.
So it is running until Friday, May 9th. So that would be tomorrow. So what you want to do is reach out to 818-457-1980, or you can also reach them by email at catertoherflorals@gmail.com. Keep in mind, if you mention that you heard about the service campaign through the Everybody Has One podcast, you will receive an additional discount off of your order. Keep in mind that your deliveries will all be within a 15-mile radius of the zip code of 48307. It is an additional charge for locations outside of that radius. Each customized arrangement will come with a personalized card featuring your message, and you can choose to have your bouquet presented in a vase or eloquently wrapped in floral paper, which will all be delivered by, a nice, clean cut gentleman,
I'm telling you, the hood rats that ain't
for
got no man.
your visual
Let
enjoyment,
that clean
ladies.
cut man deliver you some flowers and girl, that's me.
So again,
there you go.
one more time, that is Cater to Her Florals, 818-457-1980, or Cater to Her Florals. That is CATER, the number 2 HERFLORALS @gmail.com. You got till tomorrow to get that order in, y'all.
Let's get it.
All right, man.
Don't forget about your mama, man. It's Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, man. Take care of mama.
Let's get it going. The Times Square boxing event, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Raleigh all came out victorious. Raleigh shocking Brian Garcia with a devastating knockdown. Was that in the second round?
Yeah,
that we
second
saw?
round.
Second round, big knockdown, and really controlled the fight. I was very impressed with Raleigh Romero in that fight. You got any impressions of that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've seen more exciting squirrel fights than
that too.
what happened at Times Square this weekend. I mean, really, the best fight I saw for the weekend was Sunday with the Inoue and Cardenas.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, yeah, Inoue. It came on late Sunday. It came on like about 11 o'clock.
Oh,
it was like a quick late Vegas shooter.
Got it.
And yeah, Inoue got knocked down for the second time in his career, but he came back and got a stoppage.
That's
I
what's
want
up.
to say in like maybe the 7th. So he's, he didn't lose his status in the pound for pound rankings. The Canelo fight, yeah, snoozer.
Bro, worst fight I've seen in a decade.
Yeah, that was a snoozer.
It was a horrible fight.
We watched the pretty much the latter half of the Times Square
Yeah.
event. There was a lot of extra stuff going
Yeah,
on
it
with
was.
that, man. That anime cartoon
Yeah.
with him and Devin Haney
Yeah.
on the subway,
And by the way, none of that helped to make it more
I'm,
exciting.
I'm sitting there, I'm like,
It still was a dead atmosphere. It felt like watching it on TV.
I'm like, dude, did I miss the memo where we had to like pop some shrooms or some shit before we watched this part? I'm like, dude, what is that? Um, what's my Ryan Garcia comes down in the Batmobile
Yeah. I mean, that's weird.
at 2 miles an hour. I'm like, oh man, this ain't cool. This dude is slow rolling the Batmobile for 20 minutes down 110th Street. And I'm just like, but to your point, Raleigh, showed himself well,
Yeah.
made him some money and pooted on the Devin Haney Garcia rematch.
Yeah.
That went kaput. So there's that. Tiafimo, what he fought Barboza, he won.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully he's back on the right track.
I agree.
And he can string together some good fights and get his mojo back, to his late 2018, 2019 form.
Bud Canelo, man, who you got?
Man.
Put you on the spot.
If the Canelo Alvarez that shows up Saturday
Yeah.
shows up in September against a locked-in Bud Crawford,
It's Bud by homicide.
it's gonna be blood on the dance floor, dog.
It's yeah.
Like if that Canelo Alvarez, man, Canelo, listen here.
Yeah, man. Don't
Now,
think
up
you
into
playing
that
with
point,
somebody.
because
bro.
I was up into that point of the thinking like, man, listen, Canelo, he might use this fight to be like, you know what, I'm gonna come into this one 185, 187,
Yeah, right.
the night of. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna rehydrate.
I'm gonna have some extra up on
Yeah.
it. You get what I'm saying? But after that, after what I saw on Saturday, I said, hey man, listen here.
Bud by homicide.
Man, you better be able to move your head, man.
You come in
against
playing
that man,
like that.
You will get T-rolled.
Running around the ring, can't cut the ring off.
Yeah.
Because if you can't cut the ring off on Bud, he's going to be circling and throwing hard shots. He's not going to be circling and running away, trying to run toward his paycheck.
But I'm so glad though we got a fight that we can really talk and anticipate about for the next 4 months.
Yeah,
that's why I'm excited about that.
I am too.
Like that's gonna be a good event. You know what I mean?
What number is Abdul Carter gonna be wearing this season? He trying to get Lawrence Taylor's number.
Like whose number is he gonna ask for next, bro? Like, dude, he had Phil Simms told him to kick rocks. I mean, like, what are we doing, man? Like, just pick a number.
Yeah, that's available.
Like, I'm kind of scared to venture and ask what happened to him in his jersey number, bro.
Right.
Like, dude, like what is the stigma?
Because what, he was number one?
Yeah, like what is the stigma that you had? Where did he go to
number
school?
11? Yeah, Penn State. Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that angle. That's tinfoil Kofi work right there. Tiger's still in first place.
Yes, sir. Second best record in all of baseball.
All of baseball, man. Who's first? The Dodgers?
Yes.
Is it still the Dodgers?
Yeah, them old
Dodgers.
cheating bastards.
The Dodgers are nasty. But yeah, man, no, I'm happy with everything that I'm seeing. Timely hitting, good solid pitching, and AJ Hinch is still a genius.
I'm still waiting for Jackson Jobe to have that breakout game where all of this stuff's working.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come as we get deeper into the summer. Spencer Torkelson, he's still getting timely hits, but he's not hitting as often.
Right.
I will never complain about Javi Baez sightings for the ticket we're paying him. So I'm gonna shut the hell up on Javi until he does Javi stuff again.
Let's close on this, man. NBA draft lottery. Who they gonna cheat for this year and give them the number one pick? Because we know y'all be cheating. As a Pistons fan, for us to have a worse record in back-to-back seasons and to get the fifth pick both times, that's cheating. So y'all can stop that cheating nonsense. But who they gonna cheat for this year? And to send our boy Cooper Flag to.
Come on, man. Come on. We all know where Cooper Flag's going, bro. The nation's capital.
Oh, you think he going to the Bullets
Bruh, listen, they about
or the
all of
Wizards?
all
Excuse
of
me.
all American with an attitude, white kid in the nation's capital that's currently being whitewashed.
You heard it here first, man. I don't know what the betting odds are for the
Cooper
Wizards getting the
Flag's
number one
going to the
pick.
Washington Wizards, bruh. The red, white, and blue is going on Cooper Flag. It makes what other city can Cooper Flag go to other than Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm fine with that as long as they don't do anything weird.
Oh no, you're gonna hear some of the most lamest, borderline, I can't say cliches associated with it when it happens.
Yeah,
It's gonna make you sick. But I
Captain
just,
America.
dude, I just think, I mean, come on, Cooper Flag, DC, it just lines up. He's
Yeah,
from
the
Delaware.
headlines write themselves.
Yeah, he's from Delaware. Yeah, they may go, but they're gonna go. You're gonna see the red, white, and blue old bullet
Delaware, not the
uniforms.
Sixers. They're not gonna cheat and give the Sixers the number one pick.
Nah, they going straight colonial all the way. We going straight from the first all the way to the nation's capital. We bypassing the Liberty Bell.
Man, we appreciate y'all joining us as always, man.
Rest
Go,
in peace, Chat.
go to the social sites, go to the YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you are alerted when we go live or when we add new content. Everybody has one podcast. Peace.